Hello everyone. The semester 5th paper number 11 as per choice based credit system. The paper's name is language and linguistic. In that language and linguistic paper, the module 1 we are discussing today. There are 2 points in the module 1, the characteristics and definitions of language, and the second point is human and language communication. Today in this PPT presentation video we are going to discuss characteristics and definitions of language, human and animal language communication. That part will be discussed later on. So today let's start with this characteristics and definition of language. Let's see what are the points in this particular unit, particular model. Okay, just discuss over here. So before trying to discuss with you what are the definitions of language, let me have some more discussions with you about the language. See, the language, the spoken form of language was in the beginning it was evolved, it was developed, and the written language is the very latter development of any kind of language in the world. But see, my dear friends, the language actually it was not existed within 1 month, 2 month, 1 year, 2 year. It is a very slow development. When human being in a very old period, the stone age we can call it as, he used to live in the caves and there was no any language, there was no communication, there was maybe there was some kind of non-verbal communication. They used to have some kind of symbols for their communication. Slowly these symbols got to some sounds, and the sounds they got to some meanings, and slowly in such a way, slowly the language was evolved, it was developed, and the spoken form was actually developed in the beginning, and written language of any kind of language is a very later development of any language. But without language, the development of human being is impossible. So there was no language, so there was no any development of human being. So the language is one of the very important aspect in the development of a human being in the earth. So therefore, we need to understand these different definitions of language and what are the characteristics of language. Let's start with the definitions of language. Different scholars and experts they have given certain definitions of language. Let me discuss with you some of them. The first one, Merriam-Webster dictionary. The Merriam-Webster dictionary, it discusses the words, their pronunciation, and the methods of combining them used and understood by a community is called a language. Means the words, their sounds, their pronunciation, the trace, and the methods of combining them used and understood by a community is called a language. It is a kind of a definition given by Merriam-Webster dictionary. So there are words, their pronunciation, okay, and the methods of combining this word together and forming certain sentences and producing them, okay, with certain meaning in a group, in a community, to share feeling, thought with each other, and that kind of method is called as a language as per Merriam-Webster dictionary. The second definition, let me discuss with you about Sapir. Sapir in 1921. Sapir in 1921, he discussed with us that language is purely human and non-instinctive method of communication, communicating ideas, emotion, and desire by means of voluntarily produced symbols. The symbols are voluntarily produced, and here it is a purely human. It is a non-instinctive. It is acquired by human being. It is not actually by inheritance. Anybody is learning language after the birth of any child. It is slowly learn the language, okay, with the help of mother or any other family member. So Sapir in 1921 has given a very interesting definition. After Bloch and Traeger, they discuss here language is the system of arbitrary vocal symbols by means of which a social group cooperates. There is a kind of cooperation between a social group or community with the help of one means, one device, and that is the very interesting one, very important one, and that is a language. Noam Chomsky told, language is a set of finite number sentences, each finite in a length and constructed out of finite set of elements. So language is a set of finite number sentences, each finite in length and constructed out of finite of elements. The definitions of Noam Chomsky is also very important. It is a kind of a language that create a finite number of sentences, each finite in a length and constructed out of finite set of elements. After this, there is one more definition, sweet. Language may be defined as the expression of a thought by means of a speech sound. Language, of course, it is a vocal. It is here with the help of some sounds we produce certain words, and words combined together with some sentences. The sentences which are having certain meaning, the meaningful word with the meaningful sentences we produce in order to share our feeling, thought with someone or interact with someone. That is the definition of sweet. One more definition here we need to discuss. Okay, Routledge Dictionary of Language and Linguistics. Okay, we are going to discuss one more definition of the dictionary. Language is a vehicle of the expression of exchange of thoughts. Language is a vehicle for the expression of exchange of thoughts, transmission of experience and knowledge. It is based on a cognitive process subject to societal factors and subject to historical change and development. Of course, it's a historical change and development. It is based on a cognitive process subject to societal factor. There are societal factor, the group and community, okay, they are able to carry their processes with the help of language. So language is the slow development of human being, and therefore after getting the development of language, okay, definitely the we are able to found, okay, the great development of human being in a science, in technology and other factors. Everywhere the language is important. Without language we cannot share our ideas, feeling, thoughts to anyone, and if there was no language, there was no any kind of development of human being. So therefore, my dear friends, the language is one of the very important factor in the development of anything else. Let's discuss now after the definition, what are the characteristics and features of language. As per Charles Hockett, we are going to discuss here, okay, what are the features and what are the characteristics of language. The first one, language is arbitrary. Language is arbitrary. That feature we are going to discuss. Language is inseparable part of human society. We cannot separate human being from the language, because if there would be no language, there would be no any kind of communication, there would be no any sharing, no feeling, no expression, no ideas, nothing is going to be shared with anyone else if there is no language. So language is an inseparable part of a human society. Human civilization is possible only because of language. Of course, I told you just now, the human civilization is possible only because of language. Language is human and it is arbitrary. That's very important. Language is human and it is arbitrary. We couldn't find that any kind of language between animals. But we cannot say that there is no communication between animals. There is a communication between animals, but there is no any kind of language between animals. Language is purely human. It is a production of a human, and it is made for a communication between a human. So language is totally human, and it is arbitrary. There is no connection of a particular word with the meaning. Otherwise, there is no relation between words of language and their meaning. If there is a connection of the meaning and the words, okay, while the words were formed, certain words were formed for certain words were formed for certain things. There is no connection for that. It is at random, or it is just as it is, just that they are made, they are formed, and they are produced everywhere. If suppose there was any connection between the meaning and the words of that particular things, then definitely there may be only one language in the world. But there is no connection, there is no relation between the words of a language and their meaning. Otherwise, the same word, if we see the four-legged dog, we call it as a dog in English, but we call it as a kutra in Marathi, and we call it as a kutta in Hindi. We call it as a nai in Tamil Nadu. So why this dog, kutra and kutta and some other words in every language, why it differentiate? Because it is arbitrary. Because language is arbitrary, there is no connection of the meaning and the word form for particular thing, for animal or particular any object. There is no connection. Why we call it as a chair, why we call it as a just cupboard, or why we call it as a table, why we call it as a cat, why we are not calling cat as a dog and dog as a cat? There is no relation, there is no connection. It is formed by someone in the language, by the expert, by the linguist, and it is followed by the people. There is no question why we call it as a dog and why we should not call it as a cat. So there is no link, there is no connection. Therefore, my dear friend, it is one of the very important feature of language. Language is arbitrary. So there is no connection. Why the dog in English and why the same dog, why it is not accepted in Marathi? Agar Marathi mein dog accept kiya hota, if the same dog is accepted in Marathi, then definitely there is no need of any language, two languages like English and Marathi and Hindi and Tamil and Gujarati. Okay, if there is a connection of this all the words with their meaning, there is no connection of these words and meaning. Therefore, language is arbitrary, and this is one of the very important feature of language we need to discuss. Okay, language is arbitrary. The second one, language is a social. Of course, it is a social. Language is a position of social group. Okay, when the people is a very social. Human being is a very social. He used to live in a community, in the group, and why he lives in the community, in the family, in the group, in the society, in the village. Okay, there is a need of certain means, and that mean is a language. Therefore, language is social. The people, when they live together and when they want to share their feeling, their thought and ideas with each other, they use a language. So language is a position of a social group. Language exists in society. Language we found in society. Okay, there is a no, or there was no any chance of any existence of society if there was no language. So language is a very important factor in the development of any kind of society, my dear friend. It means it is a means of nourishing and developing culture and establishing human relation. So what the culture we are talking today, what is civilization we are talking today, and what are the development and what are the future progress we are able to see within these different parts of the culture and everything, the language is a very important responsible factor for that. Language is a set of conventional communicative signals used by human for communication in community. There are some signals, the symbols and the sounds, they converted into words into sentences with certain meaning. There is a semantics for that, and therefore language form in order to have some communication, having chat, having discussion, having sharing something with each other, with your ideas, with your opinion, with your feelings, with your a certain kind of thing. So therefore language is social. Language is social. This is the second feature. Now let's go to the next feature of language. Language is symbolic. Language consists of various sound symbols and their graphological counterparts that are employed to denote some object, occurrences, or meaning. So there are some symbols. These symbols are arbitrarily chosen and conventionally accepted and employed. The symbols for the sound, the symbols and the sounds and the meaning of the word, okay, they are arbitrary. There is no connection, there is no any logic. It is made by someone in the beginning part of the language, in the developing stage of the language, and it is accepted after one generation, next generation to next generation, next generation to next generation. It is accepted. So language is symbolic. Words in language are not mere signs or figures but symbols of meaning. So words are having certain symbols, they are having certain meanings. After writing some sounds there on, or after writing some letters on the words or on the blackboard, people or students, they understand what he want to say here. So words in language are not mere signs or figure but symbols of meaning. The intelligibility of a language depends on a correct interpretation of the symbols. So the interpretation is very important. Otherwise, see, for example, let me discuss with you a very important example here. If a Tamil teacher came before Marathi student and he wrote something, some Tamil sounds or letters or words before on the blackboard, then definitely the students from Maharashtra, from Marathi student, they will not understand what the teacher want to say. But if suppose there is a Marathi teacher writing some symbols there in Marathi language, the students will understand because they make a practice of that. Okay, they acquire it after the practice of that. But the same student, they will not understand what the Kannada teacher, what the Tamil teacher, what Gujarati teacher is writing there, because the symbols, they are having certain meanings, and we match our intelligence, we match our understanding with the symbols and their meaning. So we finalize them. Therefore, this is the one more feature of a language, and that we need to understand. Language is symbolic. After this, language is systematic. There is one system, there is one science, there is one method, there is one structure, and if we know the structure, if we know the system, if we make a structure, see, for example, this is a cat is the sentence. This is a cat, or is this a cat? Okay, both sentences are right. This is a cat, or is this cat? Okay, this is a cat, or is this cat? Both sentences are right. A cat, this is at, in such a way we cannot write. This is not a systematic words, they come into form. Okay, there is one science, there is one system, there is one grammar, there is one method in order to bring the words in one order. That order we must try to understand with certain rules and regulation, and when we bring them together in one order, then there is a formation then there is a production of one beautiful, meaningful sentences. Although language is symbolic, yet its symbols are arranged in a particular system. So we develop a language, it's a symbolic, yet its symbols are arranged in a particular system. The symbol, the words and these sounds and these letters, we need to organize them in one particular system. And if you organize them in a particular system, then only some meaningful sentences are going to be produced. All languages have their systems of arrangement. Every language is a system of system. There are certain changes in every language. Okay, the systems are changed. See, for example, in Marathi we say subject, verb plus object. Subject, verb plus object means subject plus verb plus object. In English, we say it's a subject, verb plus object. But in Marathi, it is something different. The same structure we don't follow in Marathi. Subject plus verb plus object. We never follow that. Okay, the structure is different. So the structure in Marathi and structure in English is different. So the systems are different in Marathi language and systems are different in English language. While we construct the sentences, while we bring the words in one order, that order is different there. So every language is having their different sound system. Every language having their grammatical structures are different. There are no articles in Marathi, but articles are in English. Articles are in English, but articles are not found in Marathi. So the grammatical rules, the sound system, the sounds are different in Marathi, sounds are different in English. So every language has accepted different sounds for their production of sounds or the words. Okay, when the sounds are produced, okay, the words are produced. When the words are produced, the sentences are produced. That there is one method, there is one science, or there is one system in order to produce any kind of language, my dear friend. So we need to understand the science, the method in order to learn or in order to acquire that any kind of language. So every language is a system of systems. All languages have phonological and grammatical systems. So the phonological system and the grammatical systems of every language, it is different. So therefore it is not easy for us after learning one Marathi language. It is our first language and we will try to learn other languages. Okay, it creates difficulty for us to understand any other languages. For example, after learning Marathi, okay, we face many difficulties to learn Hindi language as a second, third language as a English, or fourth language as some other languages, maybe Kannada, maybe Urdu or Tamil or any other languages, because every language has their own system. Their sound system is different, their phonological structures are different, their grammatical structures are different, grammatical systems are different, and we need to command on them. We need to understand them in proper way, and then it is possible for us to form or to skill the or to acquire the skill of a spoken language or written language in any language. And within a system there are several subsystems. System mein subsystem mein systems are having certain subsystem. For example, within grammatical system we have morphological and syntactic system. So that we are going to understand in deep in the later units, in later modules. The morphological, syntactics and semantics and all these things they are well connected with each other. But every language having its own system. So language is a systematic. It is another feature of a language. Language is systematic. Let's see the one more feature. The language is vocal. Language is primarily made up of vocal sounds only produced by a physiological articulatory mechanism in the human body. See the tongue, the teeth, alveolar ridge, teeth ridge, and the tip of the tongue. Okay, there are many different organs of speech that are involved in order to produce the sounds of any language. Any language when we produce, okay, there is a structure, okay, physiological in the sense our body, the organs of speech are involved in order to produce the sounds. Okay, language is primarily made up of vocal sounds. The sounds are there and the sounds they are involved in order to produce any kind of language. Sounds only produced by a physiological articulatory mechanism in the human body, and this our physiological articulatory mechanism is involved in the human body in order to produce the sounds. And if we know the sounds, we are able to produce the words, and if we know the words with the meaning, then it is possible for us to produce the sentences with the meaning. So what we need to understand, the semantics, syntax and phonetics or phonology of any language we need to learn. In the beginning it appeared as a vocal sounds only. In the beginning, writing came much later. I told you just now that the spoken form of any language is a very early part, and writing took a very later development of that any language. So writing came much later as an intelligent attempt to represent vocal sound. It is an intelligent attempt. It is intelligent attempt to form a spoken language into a written language. Linguists say that speech is primary, therefore speech is very primary, and the written language is a very later development. After written language, we found the human beings are developed so much because the record was made because of written language. So the spoken language made communication easy between the people, the human beings in the society. But again, it is a very intellectual or it is a very creativity to produce the written language. Writing is only the graphic representation of the sounds of the language. So what the sounds we produce in the articulatory system of human being, in the physiologically, the sounds are graphically written where on the paper, and this is therefore language is a vocal first. Language is vocal first. The written form is a very, very later development of any language. This is what we need to understand. So this is one more feature. The second one, next one, language is non-instinctive and conventional. No language was created in a day out of mutually agreed upon formula by a group of humans. Yeah, of course, language took a very long period in order to develop any kind of language. I told you that there may be some symbols. The symbols they got some sound, and sound they got some meaning. So this sound they combine together, and there is a formation of words. And after forming some words, okay, meaningful word, there is a formation of certain meaningful sentences. Okay, so that was a process. That may be a process in the development of any kind of language. So language is a non-instinctive. It is a learned by human beings. Slowly, slowly, human being as a child, a little child, it learns from its mother. Okay, a language is the outcome of evolution and convention. It's a convention, it's a tradition from our family friend, from the society, from the teacher, from our community, from the neighbors, from everybody. We try to learn the language, the sentences, the words. A little child learn it from everybody, from everyone, every part of the society. Try to teach the child how to speak with certain meaning, and therefore the language is outcome of evolution and convention. Each generation transmits this convention on to the next. So language, it is a handover from one generation to next generation to again next generation. So it is a handover, like a tradition, like a culture. The language is also handover from one generation to next to again next. Like all human institutions, language also change. There are changes in language. Okay, there are changes in language. Okay, there are great changes in the language. And the language also die, grow, and expand. Language can expand, language can die, language can grow. There are changes in the language from communication to communication, or from community to community, or from one generation to next generation. There are different changes we are able to see taking place within the language. So language changes, language may die, language grow, and language expand. It is a non-instinctive. Language is non-instinctive because it is acquired by human being. It is not instinctive, it is a non-instinctive because it is not learned by inheritance. It is learned after the birth of child. It learn automatically, slowly try to the child understand what mother want to say, what the father want to say in the family. It try to understand, it try to interpret the meaning of the words or the sounds produced by the mother or father in the family, and it try to imitate. The child try to imitate in the family and try to learn it. So language is non-instinctive. It is acquired by human being after the birth of any child. Slowly the child understand how to produce the sound, how to just produce it with a certain meaning, and it is try to learn it. Therefore language is non-instinctive and conventional. This is another feature of language. Language is productive. Language is productive. Language is creative. Language has creativity and productivity. There is a creativity. Okay, the words, the sounds, they create certain words, and words are formed together, bringing together in order to form sentences. So it is a creativity of the particular person who speaks in any language. He try to collect those words together, and he forms certain sentences, and after the sentences having certain meaning, and these meaningful sentences try to interpret or try to express something before the people or before the social group. So it is a creativity of the speaker. It is a creativity of the speaker. It is a activity of the brain of human being that he produce the sentences, he produce the words, he produce the sounds. Okay, and it is a creativity. It is a creativity of a human being. Okay, the structural elements of human language can be combined to produce a new utterances. So the structural elements, I told you, the sounds, they are combined together, and sounds, while they combine together, they produce certain words. And when they produce certain words, these words are meaningful, and these meaningful words, when they come together systematically, grammatically, semantically, then the sentences are meaningful, and then the sentences are trying to express your opinion, your views, your suggestions, your ideas, and therefore these new utterances, the people, they try to hear and they try to interpret. So when we came across certain words which are unknown to us in English, we definitely go and refer the dictionary and try to understand what is the meaning of that. So friends, after understanding these new words, okay, with their meaning, we try to interpret what the speaker want to speak in that particular sentence, with that particular passage, with that particular para, and we try to interpret it with the help of the dictionary. So dictionary is helpful in order to understand in English language, because English is not our language, English is not our mother tongue. We try to understand it, we try to acquire it, okay, in the school, in the colleges. Language changes according to needs of society. So there are changes in the language according to the needs of the society. How the society need, the language changes. The same English is not, there is no same kind of pronunciation of English language in Karnataka how we pronounce in Maharashtra. The pronunciation style is different in Maharashtra, and it is very different in Karnataka, because there is a mother tongue pool of Maharashtrian people. They try to mix English with Marathi, and the people, they try to mix Kannada with English there in Karnataka. So there are changes, language change according to people, according to society, according to community, and according to their needs. There are changes we are able to find. It depends on the speaker how we make different combination of words together. So some people, they make a very tough combination of the words together, and it is not easy to understand what the person want to speak. For example, we talk about the great politician of India, that Shashi Tharoor, and he is a very creative writer. His sentences are such tough, okay, we are not able to understand the meaning of them, because the constructions made by that particular the speaker, it depends upon that particular person, how he combine the words together, and how he form and how he produce the certain sentences. It will take a time in order to understand, okay, what the person want to speak over there. So it is very difficult for us. It depends on the speaker whether he make a use of simple words together, or whether he use a complicated or unknown words together and making certain sentences. Sometimes it is a tough for us to understand what the speaker want to speak over here. So this is also another very interesting feature of language. Language is productive and creative. So friends, these are the very important feature here we are discussing. Language is productive and creative, and language is non-instinctive, and there are many features we discussed together. We discuss about the definitions of the language. We discuss about the different developments of the language. So the language is a very important part, and a part of a human being and their development. Therefore, we are able to understand what are the definitions of a language, and what are the features and the characteristics of a language. What is the difference between human and animal communication, that we will discuss in the coming class.